AVNation.tv. We are here in lovely Las Vegas, Nevada for Infocomm 2018. We are in the Crestron booth with my friend Jeff Singer. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Good to see you again, Matt.
Good to see you. Jeff, you and I have talked, gosh, a ton over the years.
Probably too much.
Probably. But we've really started that conversation about DM a couple of years ago. DM's been a very good product for you guys. You continue to expand on that line. This year at the show, you announced DM Lite. Tell us a little bit about that.
So DM has been around for about a decade now, and it's really kind of established itself as the standard for transmitting and processing digital video. Most people think of DM as really high quality and it's for the big high-end or the larger projects. But now we have DM Lite, which brings that same DM quality, those same DM features to a very simple point-to-point solution. So it's an ecosystem of transmitters and receivers that can all mix and match for those really simple, basic point-to-point applications.
So when we're talking about an application where we've got a display somewhere and a source in a completely other location, we don't need to necessarily throw that onto the network, get the entire thing involved. We just need to send point to point. This is the perfect application for that.
Exactly. So whether you're doing 4K 60, which we can then transmit up to 40 meters, or 1080p, which we can transmit up to 70 meters, it's a great solution.
Now you mentioned that it's mix and match as far as formats.
Right.
What do you mean by that?
Well, we have a number of different footprints and styles. So, for example, there's wall mount. You can get a single gang or two gang wall mount. There's you get under the table or a lectern, just depending on different types of inputs and outputs. So there's different kind of flavors. You can mix and match whatever you want, different transmitters, receivers to build that extension solution that's right for you. And again, the idea is really high quality, really low cost.
That's fantastic. Obviously shipping now?
Yep, it's all shipping now.
Fantastic. Let's continue down that storyline. DM has evolved into DM MVX.
Yes.
Correct? Yep. Tell us a little bit more about where MVX is today.
Okay, well, as you said, DM MVX is nothing really new for us exactly. We're taking DM, which everybody's comfortable with, everybody knows, and we've put it on the network. So all of the tools, all of the innovation, all the engineering, all the features and benefits that you know from DM, just putting it on IP.
Now, when we talk about throwing that on the network, are we talking about a dedicated network? Are we talking about throwing this on standard switches, stuff out of the box? Let's define that a little bit.
Sure. So this works on a standard 1 gig Ethernet network. Okay. So whatever's in place today, you could use that. Now, we're very flexible. So some clients, they set up a VLAN, they isolate it on a separate network, but this will run on the corporate network. Okay. It'll work with whatever infrastructure you already have in place. So, for example, your network switches, whether it's HP, Extreme, Cisco, whatever you have in place now, you can use it. And we use the standard infrastructure, and we are network secure using the same enterprise-grade security protocols that, again, you already have in place for your network. Leverage them so these become secure endpoints on your network.
Now, there's all kinds of conversations about throwing things on the network, and obviously the security side of it, but in the differences between some of the products on the market, what makes the 1 gig product from MVX so different?
That's a good question, too.
I've got great questions today.
You're really good at this.
Loaded.
You should do this for a living.
I should.
So while you think about that, think about 1 gig versus 10 gig, right? Yep. So SDVOE is going to say you need 10 gig to get the very best quality video. Well, we've been doing this a really long time. And in fact, we took all the DM engineering and the intelligence that we learned from DM, applied that to MVX. We worked with Intel and actually developed our own chipset to be able to process video for IP. Okay. And so we're able to actually get that very best video quality over a single gig, 1 gig, and you don't need 10 gig. As a matter of fact, we've had patent pending technology that we developed so that we're scaling and decoding at the same time, so there's no latency penalty for putting video on the network. Again, we're the only 1 gig solution that can do that. So if you think about it, why would you spend more money on 10 gig, which is not, it's not as scalable and it costs more, if you don't need to.
When it's really the infrastructure conversation, right? It's not
Right.
necessarily the endpoint.
Right.
It's the fact that if you do not already have that 10 gig infrastructure,
Right.
you have to upgrade to it. And that includes
Correct.
everything from switches to far switches to all your cabling.
Right, you're exactly right. So if you just look at the endpoint price, it's probably comparable, give or take a few dollars, right?
Okay.
But when you then start to think about the core switches, the edge switches, you
Yeah.
need special cabling, like Cat7 cabling. That adds up really quickly, and you actually wind up not only needing more expensive hardware, but even more hardware.
Right.
Because again, simple math, you take even a 40 gig network switch, right? If you have a 1 gig solution, 40 divided by 1, 40. So you get all 40 streams. Now you have a 10 gig solution, 40 divided by 10, 4 streams. Even though it's a 40 port, if you have a 40 port switch or
Yeah.
48 port switch, 4.
Yeah.
You can only use 4 of them.
It's a big
So,
deal.
so as you start to scale or grow that system, you're going to need more and more switches,
Right.
more and more cabling, more and more programming. It becomes very complicated and very expensive very quickly using 10 gig. So our 1 gig solution, again, we're able to handle HDR.
Okay.
We have very low, we have no latency penalty for the IP.
Right.
We have fast switching, and we're demonstrating all that here in our booth, of course. And then we throw in a few other really cool features, understanding the environment that it's going in. Everybody talks about the AV over the IP, but think about the applications and where is it going? It's going in presentation rooms and in conference rooms. So you need USB 2.0 if you're going to do any kind of web collaboration
Yep.
or video conferencing, because the cameras are USB 2.0, not USB HID.
Right.
So where's that going to plug into?
Yeah.
Right?
So it's
You
additional hardware.
normally it would
Yeah.
be, but not with NVX.
Very good.
We have an extra HDMI input, so so that you can actually switch between 2 sources from
Right.
one box.
Right.
Everybody else, they've got that one input. So you need a new encoder or decoder for every single source,
Right.
every single endpoint. So then you think about the endpoint, a display, decoding. That's usually where you want to put your wireless gateway.
Yeah.
Think about, it's great that you have video over IP. What about presenting from your tablet, right? Something crazy like wireless presentation.
Oh
Nobody
my
does
God.
that, right?
No, it's never asked for.
But that's the whole point, So I've got the IP solution, but now how do I bring the wireless presentation into that?
Right.
If you only have that one in to one out at the decoder, it's already used up going
Exactly.
from your switch to the display. Now what?
Very good.
Now you're adding switchers, you're adding USB extenders, you're home running all the way back to the network switch at
Right.
end. So again, it's with NVX, installation and programming and your hardware costs are so much less.
It's fantastic. One of the other things I saw this morning that I wanted to comment on was your cloud solution, your monitoring solution.
Yeah.
You're working with, or you worked with Microsoft on that fairly extensively.
Yes.
How many years in the making was that? And for anyone who does not know about this, give us a quick overview of what it is.
Sure. So you're referring to XIO Cloud,
Yep.
which is our cloud-based deployment, monitoring, and management software. We've been engineering that with Microsoft for just about 5 years.
Wow.
And it is built on Microsoft Azure.
Okay.
So this isn't some homegrown, untested, platform. I mean, that's pretty solid.
Yeah.
So if you're using Office 365 or something, like that, you're already
In that environment.
You're already in that
Yep.
environment. So it's standards-based and it's solid, it's reliable, it's proven and tested in the field. And we're leveraging that in the AV space. So it's really an IT solution for the AV space. What does it do for us in the AV market? Well, as we're talking about these larger systems in scale, we're not talking about doing half a dozen rooms. We're talking
Right.
about doing hundreds or thousands of rooms. And it's really impractical to go to every room and every device and have to configure it or program it, running around all these rooms. And
Yeah.
So with XIO Cloud, all you have to do is plug in a Crestron device, and the cloud recognizes the device is on the network,
Right.
and it automatically pushes all of the configuration settings and programs to the device.
Now,
Or thousands of devices.
Right. So that leads to my next question. When you do have that large campus environment, how do you manage, or what protections do you have if you're deploying firmware updates or configuration updates across a large campus with a lot of endpoints to ensure that that's done properly if you don't have somebody physically in that room?
Well, you get feedback.
Okay.
So it's on the network, so you're getting feedback from all the devices. So you can actually monitor those devices. You can know how they're operating and how they're performing. In addition, you can get other types of data too. So for example, you can know how those devices are being used, right down to individual button presses.
Okay.
So for example, say the Crestron Mercury, you can see like how often that gets used, who uses it. You can find out how often is it being used for audio conferencing, and even down to the next level. When you're using it for audio conferencing, how often are they using the SIP phone versus the Bluetooth?
Very interesting.
So you can really drill down and understand how spaces and technology are actually being used, and then you can tailor the solution to kind of blend in and integrate with how people actually work and communicate and collaborate, so that it really disappears. It becomes invisible, and it just makes meetings frictionless. It makes the whole workflow seamless.
And I would assume that it also allows you to take some of those data points and help you as you further plan to deploy additional rooms and additional spaces in the future, knowing what your users are doing.
Absolutely. So you can change and modify your configurations and settings and push them out to existing rooms.
Okay.
That then becomes your new standard, and then as new rooms come online, where you update rooms, again, all you do as soon as you plug it in, it recognizes it on those devices on the network, and it pushes those settings out to the room.
Okay, one last thing I wanted to get into or touch on before we go is we're talking a lot about meeting rooms. Meeting rooms are still not a commodity, but they're a location that, for whatever reason, causes a lot of headaches, because you never know when you're walking into that space if it's good for you. You don't know if it's something that's going to seat your party of 8. You often don't know if someone else is coming in behind you if you just have an impromptu meeting. You guys here at Crestron, you've been working on room scheduling for quite a while. This year you're showing some new features again, but you seem to be getting closer and closer and closer to that perfect solution. Dig into the changes you've made this year.
Sure. So, the issue that you bring up really is so important, because when people talk about meeting spaces or meetings and making them easier, you got to recognize that the meeting starts before you get to the room.
Right.
And
it doesn't leave till we end.
Sometimes it actually continues after
it
the
does.
end, right?
It does.
So, to be able to find, as you say, to be able to make sure that you're finding the right space to meet. Basic calendaring systems don't tell you where a room is located. It doesn't tell you the seating capacity. It doesn't tell you what kind of technology is in that room. So if I'm going to give a wireless presentation from my tablet, and I've got a meeting of 10 people, and then I show up to a room that seats 6 and doesn't have wireless presentation, it's not going to be a very effective meeting.
Not so much. No.
So how do you know those things? So again, that's part of what our room scheduling software and our room scheduling platform can help do. Our panels and our platform ties directly into whatever calendaring platform you already are using.
Right.
So whether it's Outlook or Microsoft Exchange, G Suite, 365, whatever you're using, plug right into what you're already using. So at your desktop, it doesn't change for you.
Right.
But now you're getting another level of functionality that's really right in terms of AV and meeting spaces. Also, you can then schedule or book ad hoc meetings from our panels, which will sync up with your calendar.
It's fantastic.
Now, we have our own room booking software that ships with the panel, but one of the real exciting advances this year is these new partnerships that we have. There are other really amazing room booking solutions out there that people really like. Solutions like Robin, EMS, AppSpace, Team, right? We actually run those programs natively in our room scheduling touchscreens. So for the first time, we are decoupling the software from the hardware. So we're saying, use whatever software you want. It doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want, but then use our hardware, because there's tremendous benefit from using our hardware versus a tablet.
Right. Tablets have their inherent issues as far as powering, mounting, if they're going to go to sleep on you.
Right,
all
or
kinds of
whether
things.
they walk away.
That's a problem as well.
Right? They use Wi-Fi. They're not connected to your network. If they're not connected to your network, all those tremendous benefits we were just talking about, XIO Cloud, all the tremendous benefits, what IT professionals especially expect to be able to monitor those things and manage those things and deploy those devices as an endpoint on their network. Well, the tablets aren't.
Exactly.
So they are invisible. Those are blind spots. You can't manage them. But with our touchscreens, you can.
That's fantastic. All right, so if people want to find out more information about all of the products we talked about, DM, MVX, IXO Cloud, and the new room scheduling, where do they find that?
Well, the best place to go is our website, Crestron.com.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your time.
It's a pleasure.
For more footage from the show floor and to learn more about AVNation, please visit avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv.